Hi everyone, welcome back. So we're still sailing in Voyage 18, and I do believe I have it narrowed down as to how much and which items we're going to take care of. And then I did just go ahead and say we're in week 4 of it, since April 3rd, April 10, April 17, and April 24th are all Fridays. And that's usually the day I figure things out. Since the 24th is the fourth Friday, I decided that we were in week 4. So we'll pick up from that. And then we have 4 starfish joining us for this week's journey. And how's everyone doing today? I hope you're doing well. We are once again experiencing more cooler weather where we just had a couple of hot days. Now we're having some cool rainy days, which I really do enjoy the cool rainy days. Just kind of messes with the sinuses a little bit, but that's okay. It's just a little bit of time, and then next, it'll be hot and we'll be on to other stuff. So what I'll do is, so with Voyage 18, I narrowed it down to one of the city cards. And this has a 5,380 is the limit on that. But we will start the voyage, and you'll see probably why I'm going to start on this card is because we were at $5,363.05 at one time after the cycle of the statement. And so I figure we should probably start with the card that has the most, less limit, and we're actually, this is one we want to actually function and use in everyday life, so we need to have this card more functional. And also, target is probably a bigger number than the last time I reported, but for this voyage we're at 311.62, but we also did pay off the 311.62. And then we had that tiny revolving credit for that 247.17, and that's one where we also have that paid off. And also that small furnace will be tossed in here, and that's for 300. And then that still has the balance on there. So these are the items that we're going to work on for this voyage. And I guess I did not have a calculator close by, and I did not think to add this up, but I think what I'll do is I'll just round it up to the easiest. So we do 53.65, 312, 250, and then 300. Make that a little easy, because by the time you start adding in interest, we're going to be up there anyway. So that's a 12. All right, so 62.27 is around the starting point to Voyage 18. So what I will do is, we have that, I call this my cute little, I called the berry bank. And so we had a 4,000 limit on that one. And what we have done so far is we did 2,000 chunk to the city. So that leaves 2,000 available there. And then we also had another city that we did the monthly payment of 350 to that, to the second city. And that brought us down to 1,650 available in that line. And then we also did 350 to an American Express. And that brought us to 1,300 available in that line. And then we also paid off the target for that 311.62, which gives us currently $988.38 in that line. And then there will be a paycheck that will be added in and cycled through. So for the other part, for the city, to keep track of how it's been paid off so far, is we start off with a balance of $5,363.05. And I did do a $500 payment towards that at the beginning of the month, so we'll go ahead and toss that in as part of the journey since it is. So then we were down to $4,863.05. And we did have where we added $50.70 for gas. So we had a little bit of a bump up. So we have $4,913.75. And then we applied our chunk one for $2,000. And that brought us down to $2,913.75. And then we also had, I guess I'm just going to call this a work expense just to make it a little easier, for $508.81. And that brings that total right now that Citibank is $3,422.56. And then she said the target was zeroed out, and then also the small revolving credit. So then we just have the furnace. And I think what I will do is, I did not pay it off with this chunk this time. I didn't want to deplete and leave us without any room in case something happened. So I believe next week we will go ahead and pay off the furnace part. But I also have where we're going to be, we have the mortgage and then the loan payments. We'll have a paycheck going in, we'll do mortgage, loan payments, and then I'm hoping to get the furnace paid off in that section, but at the same time it's at 0%, so it's not vital to get paid off at this moment. We still have a little bit of time on that. So all right, so that's how Voyage 18 is panning out for right now. I can't think of anything else. I just was excited I finally narrowed in on the amount, and so what I will do next time, I will add up the dollar amount and have that precise amount we started with. But this is where we're at with getting the city chunked down, and then we still have $300 on the furnace, so we still have $3,422.56 of city to pay off, and $300 for furnace. So we're down to $3,722.56. So let me know if you have any questions or comments. And I think the code word today will be Stitch. And that's because I have a water bottle with that character Stitch on it. And I think he's really cute. And I just realized some of my writing, we can't see all of it. So Stitch is the code word this week. And then this is just me adding up that Citibank and the furnace. And we're at $3,722.56. And I will talk to you again next week, and then hopefully a little bit more ironed out on the voyage. I'm getting there. So I will talk to you next week. Thank you for joining me. Bye.